So one of the materials that I interacted with was paint. This is the Tempera paint, I think is what it's called. It's the washable kids paint. Very, very fun to play with and interact with. In the video, you'll see that I have kind of interacted with it with my fingers because I've noticed from taking care of kids that most kids, they just completely avoid the paintbrush. You give it to them and they start using it for a little bit and then they just throw it away and they start using their hands because it seems a little bit more practical for them, I suppose, because they haven't really gotten those fine motor skills refined yet, especially, you know, when we're talking about 3-year-olds and under, sometimes even a little bit older. So anyways, use my fingers for that. The texture was very interesting. I am an artist myself, so I do frequently paint, but I usually use acrylic, or more frequently I use oil paints, and it does have quite a very different texture than what these paints do. So texture wise, very different. I like how fluid it is when you can feel it in between your fingers. It's very thin, so it moves around very easily. Another thing I noticed is a lot of the colors start to mix together when you do that as well, especially if you're not cleaning off your fingers in between. So then you start to create new colors. You get green, you get purple, those sorts of things. So with that being said, I think that paint is a very, very important medium for kids to work with, just because they do get to experience all of that. Their sensory motors are really going. They get to kind of feel, play around, create new shapes, create new, that sort of thing. But also they're kind of learning different colors too. They're seeing that, oh, if I blend these together, it'll make this. If I blend these together, it'll make that. And I know from my personal experience working with kids, one of the kids that I was nannying recently, he's 3, his name is Dave, and I was teaching him how to mix colors together. Most of the times when he was mixing colors, it was like 7 and they all just turned brown. But I was like, you know, if you mix yellow and red, you're gonna get orange. If you mix red and blue, you're gonna get purple. And he was so fascinated by that. I ended up creating a little chart for him, just showing him what colors you mix together. And then he started experimenting on his own, and he started creating other colors from those colors that he had initially mixed. So say he mixed red and blue to make purple, and he mixed yellow and red to make orange. Then he was then mixing the purple and the orange together to see what it makes. So you'd mix those together and see what color it made, and I would say, what color did you make? Like, what color is that? And most times it would usually be brown, or, you know, just a more vibrant color of whatever color he was mixing. But so with myself kind of playing with these colors, I can kind of see where that creative process was and that thought process was for that child, which is very, very important when we are working with children, because I feel as though understanding the materials that you're teaching or using in a classroom or just in general, you need to know and understand every aspect in the way it works, whether that's thinking, saying, or feeling, to be able to then really help educate that child. To kind of build off of that, I used to be a figure skater, competitive figure skater. I coached for a little bit, just the small kids in can skate, and I judged as well. And to really be able to teach the child, I mean, this is a requirement anyways, but to be able to teach the child that skill, you have to understand that skill yourself, so that if the child does ask, why do we do this? How do you do that? You know, it's not like, oh, just because, you know, oh, this happens because we did this. You do it with the child. Not only do you understand it better, but you're able to explain it to the child a little bit better as well.